Welcome everyone to Peaches and Powerbombs. My name is Tina Miller. This is Sarah Hirsch,
Hi
and
guys.
we are two Georgia girls who just love wrestling, except for when they do stupid junk, like
Yes.
what they did last week on Monday Night Raw with the Hurt Business and Bobby Lashley. This is so crazy. I am so frustrated, especially
Yes.
since we are days away from WrestleMania and they do this.
Exactly. Yeah, looking at it from that standpoint, it makes no sense as to why you're coming up on like the biggest show of the year, and the Hurt Business was a strong faction ever since, after the pandemic started. They have reigned supreme. They have been dominant, and all of a sudden a week into WrestleMania, everything just falls apart. That's the last thing you
Especially
want.
especially when they're bringing fans in for the first time in over a year. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. And
This
and so at the beginning of the show, um, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin were more or less removed from the Hurt Business, pretty much. And so what I got out of it, I guess throughout the show, MVP was talking to other wrestlers, I guess trying to recruit them, right?
right.
And by the end of the night, we see it's like, all right, the Hurt Business is already broken up. Everybody's sad, depressed, and to make matters worse, you throw in the worst possible person to be affiliated with, and no disrespect, but it's Baron Corbin, like the last person you would want to be a part of it.
Yeah, like you said, no disrespect to Baron Corbin. He tries, he works hard, he tries to generate heat as much as he can, especially when he's in front of a live audience. And I think that's really hurt him this past year, was that he has no audience to feed off of.
Exactly.
But even regardless of all that, he did not belong here
Right, and
at
he was on
all.
SmackDown too. I mean, it's fine if you switch people, but I feel like more or less it's like quote unquote shock factor in terms of this, but it still doesn't make any sense. Why would you take one of the like your one of your highlights of Raw and just destroy it prior to WrestleMania, and then Bobby Lashley's got to defend the title against Drew McIntyre like in a matter of days. So why would you do that knowing that you're minus two people?
Yeah.
And you bring new people in, you don't have that, you don't have the that rapport, that the strong bond within a group. But I could be wrong, but I mean, it just, I don't understand why it was done. I
I
mean,
don't.
it's not like I lose sleep over it, but
Yeah.
it just makes you wonder.
It's still upsetting as a wrestling fan, especially because we're so close to WrestleMania and then they do this. It's almost like they didn't understand what was going on until it happened and they were like, because Drew had the title and they wanted the baby to chase the title for WrestleMania,
Right.
so he can have that big moment in front of fans and everything. And I understand that. He
Yeah.
didn't get his moment. He didn't get his time to
Yeah.
shine. He kind of got the raw end of the deal because, like I said, with Baron Corbin, I think his face stuff only works when he's in front of fans. And this isn't against Drew and saying he doesn't deserve the title or whatever. He doesn't
No,
deserve
we're
his
not
moment.
saying that at all.
But um, I think they're like, oh wait, everybody likes this big, strong, bad Bobby Lashley, I'm gonna eat you for breakfast type thing. They like this. And so we want Drew to be able to, because the way things are going, you can't take the title off of Bobby Lashley. So we're going to cut his legs out from underneath him so it's more believable that Drew McIntyre wins. And I'm like,
Kind of
it's
like exposing beneath the armor.
right. It's crazy.
And um yeah, and for Drew. I felt so bad for him last year because he did deserve that big WrestleMania moment. And with the pandemic, everything was pulled out from everybody. So, I mean, it was circumstances beyond anybody's control. So,
Yeah.
but, I mean, well, from the rip, this story has been kind of crazy with Drew and Bobby because, Elimination Chamber, Drew puts on this great performance only for the Miz, or only for Bobby Lashley to come out and attack him, and then the Miz wins by cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And it turns out him and Bobby Lashley had this deal. Then Bobby Lashley squashes him, so basically the Miz was just a placeholder for Bobby Lashley to get the title for a while. Now Drew's got unfinished business. So, yeah, it's so like, while they're chasing each other, Sheamus is trying to pick fights with Drew. Not saying it's terrible because they had some bomb matches recently. But you got that. And then you have the Hurt Business just falling apart. Like, I guess we can't have it all.
No, we can't, I guess. You have to either bake the cake, you can't have it and eat it at the same time, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
It is. And and it was very poorly received, obviously. The fans didn't like it. Even Batista called him out on Twitter. Who would break up the Hurt Business? Nobody. Exactly. Why would you?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and of course I read something online, I don't remember where, but there was apparently backstage talk about the Hurt Business actually disagreeing with the move to be broken up, but they went through with it anyway. And like I said, that was something I read online. Whether it's true or not, no idea. But that was just something that popped up on my timeline one day, and I said, well, let me just read it.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit, because at the end of the day, whose company is it? At the end of the day, who has the final say? It's Vince McMahon. They say that he still has a pretty good say-so on Raw. He's not as involved with SmackDown as much as from what I've heard. And that might be why Raw stinks and SmackDown is a whole lot better.
I
don't know.
To say no offense to anybody, but it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. And it's insane because everybody says, oh, WWE is garbage, they do all this stuff, but if you actually think about it, Raw is the only show that's garbage because NXT is pretty good and SmackDown is pretty good.
I agree. I can agree with that. Raw has always been this flagship show, A show, and I feel like Raw hasn't been done right by, Raw hasn't been done done right by anybody in the last several years. I mean,
it's bad when you're a week and a half, few days away from WrestleMania, mm-hmm. and the best thing on your flagship show is Bad Bunny versus The Miz.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, but I do know that Bad Bunny is a huge WWE fan, which I have no problem with. If they want to contribute, bring new fans in, that's fine. But at the same time, you have some that are not familiar with it at all. They're just there to make money, and then their fans follow them. Then they see it as a whole right now, and they're like, what is this? Really?
Like, what is going on? Okay, he already had, this Bobby Lashley guy already had two little goons. Why does he need more? Why does he need new ones?
Yeah.
If you're following the story, like, this doesn't make any sense. And
yeah.
Where did that guy even come from? The other two guys look like they could actually beat up somebody, and Baron Corbin doesn't. So,
yeah.
So there's that, too. But,
can you imagine, like, a casual fan? Who's that dweeb?
Right? Oh, that's just Baron Corbin. Don't pay any attention to him. So, yeah, this feels like it's been the worst WrestleMania build-up in a while, including last year. Which last year I don't really hold that against them because that's not really their fault. They were, trying their best with what they were dealt because all of this pandemic stuff was new and, they were just like, okay, we got to do the best we can do.
Right. I mean, you work with what you have, and with
Yeah.
the pandemic, it pretty much pulled the rug out from everybody. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. I remember watching it. It was weird, very weird. But, I felt like being that it was just the start of the pandemic, I know for me, it took my mind off of things for a little bit.
I watched WrestleMania, but I didn't watch for probably about 3 months after that because I don't know. It was just like it wasn't the same because you could hear them take the bumps off that mat, and I don't know, that just did something to me. So I was like, I can't do this.
I think the Raws after that, a lot of it hadn't been bad at all to me. I felt like matches were a lot better. I still think about Aleister Black and Apollo Crews, which we will get to here in a little bit. But I think about their match, how great it was.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of cons, but there was pros too, and that is a good example. Um, Andrade, Selena Vega, Angel Garza, and they had Austin Theory in their little group for a while. That was somebody else that was on the come up, and all of a sudden, everything fell apart with them. There was no explanation. Well, there really wasn't a whole lot of explanation. I guess, quote unquote, they fired Selena Vega. Was it on air that they broke up or something? I can't remember. But they were doing really great for a while, and then all of a sudden it just fell apart. So, um, back to I was gonna say this too, and with the Hurt Business, they were omitted from Fastlane. I did make that in my Fastlane notes. Um, for the champion wasn't even on the show. So probably it was a sign of things to come, but
I don't know. I don't think with the way we're still in kind of pandemic time a little bit.
yeah,
Um, I didn't really have a problem with both titles not being on every single show. I think it's okay to highlight one over the other, and kind of switch it out every now and then, except for on WrestleMania, of course. I didn't really think that that was a big deal, but I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't see this coming. I knew they were going to mess it up somehow because it seems like they always do, but I didn't think that they would mess it up until after WrestleMania.
Right. Well, they proved us wrong, Tina.
I know. I was like, well, you know, I guess, when you go from WrestleMania being worth $50 to $10,
You
you
get
got
what you pay for.
and now it's only $5, and some people are only paying $2.50 for this year, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is Stone Cold and The Rock from Wish.com, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is
That,
wrestling
that's
from
bad.
Wish.com.
Oh gosh,
This is how it
that's
feels.
so bad.
It's horrible.
Oh, speaking of Stone Cold, something that happened that blew everybody's mind. Chris Jericho is going to be the next guest on Broken Skull Sessions. Me? I love it. What about you?
I love it too. I think this is great because they don't need to be, I don't know, they don't need to have their unders in a twist, I guess.
Right.
And
Apparently Vince
Jericho
is okay with it, so hey.
Jericho pretty much did grow in WWE, right? That's how he really became the superstar that he is. He was a star already,
Right.
from WCW and other places, but I think he didn't get as big until he got to WWE, and I think it's kind of it would be a disservice to just kind of pretend that that doesn't exist. And
Right.
kudos to Stone Cold for being like, nope, I'm going to do what I want.
And both of these guys have transcended just pro wrestling in general. And I think this is going to be an extremely interesting interview because, obviously, as everyone knows, Jericho's with All Elite Wrestling. And I think there's going to, I cannot wait for the conversations they're going to have because, Stone Cold's going to ask the questions. He don't care.
No.
But I'm really interested to see what they're going to talk about. You know, especially Stone Cold, anything goes. So, yeah, that definitely shocked me. I had to call my nephew on that one. He didn't even know. I felt cool for a minute.
Yeah.
Because usually he's like, "Did you hear about this?" No. Oh, I knew before you. Well, I knew this time, and he was confused, like, huh?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, that's huge. It really is. But I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it helps that it's on Peacock now, and WWE doesn't have their own little thing, because if that was the case, then they would have completely shut it down. But I think that Peacock little, kind of being right there they might have wanted it, I don't know. And they're like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
I mean, hey, I think it's good I think it's good for everybody all around, so why not? I mean, somebody like Chris Jericho, I'm pretty sure he has a lot to say,
I'm sure he does.
He probably has a lot to say, a lot of a lot of good things. There's probably some bad things, and I'd be interested to hear it all. And Jericho's usually pretty open with a lot of stuff, so like I said, I am really interested in seeing what they have to say.
Yeah, and I'm interested too. And Jericho is one of those guys where he might be gotten frustrated, or didn't understand something was going on, but he never lost his respect, and he never stopped. He never stops showing respect. And he might get on AEW and diss WWE every now and then, but it's not really. It's just to create a reaction. I don't think he doesn't hate Vince, and he doesn't, he doesn't want them to go out of business or anything like that. So
I don't think anybody really does. I think competition is good, and controversy creates cash. I mean, so
yeah,
and people love little disses like that, like, "Ooh, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that?" Yeah. So one of the things what I said a little while ago about Apollo Crews, can I just say how overjoyed I am that he is on the WrestleMania card and he's facing Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. I am so excited for him. As you know, Tina, he's a Georgia boy.
Yeah.
We're extremely excited for him. I think he's going to do good. Him and Big E had a match at Fastlane. I thought it went really well. Obviously it was not over by any means, so I'm thinking at WrestleMania they're going to settle the feud once and for all, and I don't know if Big E's going to remain supreme or Apollo Crews gets a really big moment. And honestly, if he gets a really big moment, it would be a long time coming.
I think it depends on what their plans are for the title, the Universal Championship, and what I want to happen with this match.
Mm-hmm.
Because say that they don't do what is blatantly obvious, and they actually do have Roman still win.
Yeah.
Then I want Big E to lose that title and go after Roman for this summer.
Yeah.
Because that would be a really good feud.
Oh, that would be
both
a big
of them.
moment at SummerSlam. And honestly, if like that they went that route and they went with Big E and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, I think that'd be amazing.
It would be. But if they're gonna do what is blatantly obvious and have Edge win but pin Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan's eating that pin.
Then I'm not ready for Big E to jump into there and he can keep the the Intercontinental Championship
Right.
for a little bit longer and stay away from that hot mess. So
Yeah, when I just knew from Fastlane, I said, man, they're gonna put Daniel Bryan in there. I already know, and that was my first thought. He is totally eating that pin from Edge because there's no way Roman's gonna get pinned. I don't see it. I think I think Daniel Bryan's gonna eat that pin, no matter what.
and it's funny because if you hear people who are in the business who might be who used to be in the business who knows their things and they get on there and they talk about it and they're like, there is no way, there is absolutely no way they're going to take that title off of Roman Reigns. They're not going to do it. It would be just completely mind-boggling and ridiculous. And I'm like, you're talking about the WWE here.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they kind of thrive in the ridiculous and mind-boggling and the silly. And
right,
it doesn't make any sense. Look what just happened on Monday night.
right, yeah. You know, WWE logic. Yeah, WWE logic for you. And sometimes it don't make sense, but most of the time we just roll with it. Because guess what? We love pro wrestling. We stick through it from the
we
ups and
we
downs.
can't help it. We're so addicted.
I
We can
know.
never go. We can't look away, Sarah.
I know. Even if it's a train wreck, I mean, you just can't look away.
No, because you think next week they're gonna get it together and it's gonna be fine. No, it's worse.
No. I think a lot of times a lot of us just tune in to see what disaster comes up next. But, at the end of the day, I think we do, I think a lot of us, want to see these guys succeed. And I think that's why all of us do get opinionated and been out of shape from time to time because we want so much for people that the guys and girls we support. And sometimes we don't get that and we're like, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um, as far as I know, well, something else that's changed since the last time we talked. We were talking about the Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Men's Battle Royal. Well, they have moved that to SmackDown. Even though WrestleMania is 2 nights, we're just going to throw that on SmackDown, even though we had it on WrestleMania almost every year.
I kind of think this is where they're going with that. This is going to be the first time in over a year that they're going to be in front of fans.
Right.
So they're not planning on having a pre-show because they want to start the show off with a really huge match.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on which way they go as for their main event. If Drew and Bobby are the main event, then Bianca and Sasha would probably start the show. And then if it's the other way around, then Bobby and Drew would start the show and Bianca and Sasha would end the show.
Right.
That's okay with me. I'm not really upset about the Battle Royal being on SmackDown. I kind of think it is sad that some of these people won't be on the card for WrestleMania. That is sad. And maybe they just would have switched it up and just had it like second or something like that, I guess, would be okay. But I'm more upset about who's in the Battle Royal than I am about the Battle Royal itself.
Oh, wow. See, I haven't seen who was in it yet, so do tell.
Okay. So it's not enough that they break up the Hurt Business. Then they're
Okay.
like, okay, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, you mean nothing now, so we're going to just throw you into the Battle Royal. That's number one.
Ugh.
Number two.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
Shinsuke Nakamura is in the Battle Royal, and I kind of understand it, and I'm kind of a little upset about it all at one time. I don't know. They didn't really give him anything, so I understand why, and at least he has something to do, but it's still Shinsuke Nakamura, so it just hurts a little bit.
I feel like it should be on the card somewhere.
Yeah. Number three, and this is the kicker. Main event Jey Uso in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Why?
Oh, God.
Why?
Exactly. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that just blows my mind. I think with Jay,
You could have given him a little small side angle, like have him wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura or something like that. Both of those guys
right,
had nothing to do.
yeah. I mean, I think, well, the everybody's used to the battle royal because memory of Andre the Giant. It was just a WrestleMania tradition, but they really never do anything with it. So that's another reason why I'm just kind of like,
It feels
yeah,
like a jobber battle royal. And I
yeah, it
don't
really
mean that in
does.
any disrespect to all the people who are participating in that.
Yeah.
That's just how it
It's kind of
feels.
like this is left over for anybody we didn't have anything for. We'll just throw them in there, easy
Right.
fix. And if they did something with it, like a future title shot or something, I would have definitely received that a lot better. But
Yeah.
being that there's no payoff for it, it's just a battle royal. You're
And
just like, eh.
the thing is that it doesn't even have to be a future title match for the WWE Championship. It could either be for the Intercontinental title or for the US title.
Well, if R-Truth wins, he'll just challenge for the 24/7 title if he doesn't have it.
Well, isn't he like he's gonna go down as the most decorated champion in all time? Because I think he's like I don't know how many times has he won that thing now? Like it feels like 100, but
Yeah. I think R-Truth. Oh God, I love him.
I do too.
I think he makes the best out of it. And honestly, I think they made that title just for him. And I'm actually, if that's the case, I would be okay with that because
I'm okay with
I
it.
think I think R-Truth just I think he adds so much. He really does. He's so funny. He's charismatic. I mean, you can put him in anything, and he just shines.
Yeah, I mean
Oh, I love
he's
him.
a good he's he's good at that serious heel role that he was in with the Miz against John Cena and The Rock
Yeah.
at Survivor Series like
Oh
ages ago,
yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
fine, and everything. But I don't know. I really like, and this is probably people are probably going to disagree with me on this, and we'll use this as a segue into controversial corner because this might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I really like this R-Truth, this comedic getting everybody's name wrong. Doesn't, John Cena is my childhood hero, even though he's like 15 years old. John, well, maybe not that old, 10 years older than John, and things like that. And it's hilarious, and I like it.
Yeah, it's I think it's comedy relief, and I think R-Truth makes it work. I think a lot of the 24/7 segments are kind of stupid, but when he's in it, it's not that bad because he
Yeah.
does come up with some funny
Now,
stuff. You're like,
Tozawa with the shark and all that kind of stuff
oh
was,
Jesus.
no. But, R-Truth coming out there with a year and a half ago with Brock Lesnar and saying he's gonna eliminate Paul Heyman from the Royal Rumble,
That
and
was
then
great.
and then Paul Heyman goes, I'm not in the Rumble, you idiot, it's Brock Lesnar, and he goes, okay, I undeclare myself.
Yeah, I would undeclare myself too.
And Brock is over there just laughing his head off. And there was actually rumors that he went to Vince and personally asked to work with Truth some more, and then, the
Oh no.
pandemic and all that stuff happened, so we
Dang.
never got to see it. But I would have loved to see it. I
It
would
would have
have
been
loved to.
awesome. Oh Lord, only truth, only truth.
Only
Yeah,
Truth.
so we have a new segment.
We
Controversial
do.
corner.
And next time we do this segment, we'll have a song and stuff. It won't just be us going, we have a new segment, but.
Hey, let's turn to the controversial corner here and talk about some unpopular opinions.
Oh boy. Are you ready? You ready
Yes.
for the fire, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay. The Bella Twins in the Hall of Fame. I just want to say congratulations to the Bella Twins for going into the Hall of Fame. I were they the best wrestlers on the planet? No.
Mm-mm.
Did they capitalize on their personal situations? Maybe. I can't exactly say that for sure. They probably did.
Mm-hmm.
But who wouldn't in their if anyone was in that position? But they really tried. I think that they tried, and year after the year, they did start to get better.
I agree. When when I first heard they were going to be in the Hall of Fame, I'm like, this is too soon. But I
I'll
think
agree with that.
I think it was too soon, and that's not to say that they don't have a Hall of Fame career. If you look at like their career, the whole spectrum that is their career, they really did come so far, and they did get better. I can't lie about that. Was it Trish Stratus better? No, not really, but I mean they held their own pretty much, and um, when Nikki came back about 2016 and she was doing some solo stuff on SmackDown, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
I think Natalia was one. I remember her and Carmella had some good stuff going on. Um, Me and you talked about her match with Ronda Rousey actually was pretty good too,
It
considering.
was.
I think Nikki really stepped up to the plate, even though I didn't like the fact she was in the main event. Um, I think when you look back on it in retrospect, Nikki stepped up to the plate, you know, because even though Ronda Rousey is this very acclaimed MMA fighter, you know, Nikki stepped up to the plate and was like, "All right, we got a main event match, you know, let's do it." You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't really that bad. You know, Brie was on the outside being the antagonist, and I think that worked really well for them. I think that was the standout. I think that was a standout when it comes to that match. But yeah, overall, you know, the Bellas did come far, and they created an empire. And whether we agree with it or not, Total Divas, Total Bellas. I liked the first season of Total Divas, but then if you could really tell that it was all mixed up, and it was a mess. It wasn't really following like wrestling storylines like they would show on there. So that's what lost me. But yeah, I think the Bellas were very integral in bringing the WWE women to the forefront, whereas you really didn't used to not see that ever so often. Like you would see Sable like being front and center on TV Guide or Playboy or whatever. But I think you know, I think the Bellas, being that they're twins, they wrestled, they're cute. You know, I think that was the selling point for them, you know, when they started this whole show and everything. So, I mean, I can't be mad at them. I mean, they
No.
did put, you know, they did, you know, contribute a whole lot, and they really took a lot of they took a lot of punishment too, especially from the fans.
They did, and not all of it was deserved. I mean, because at the end of the day, they're still people, they're still women. And would you say something like that to someone that you know? Would you say
Right.
something about, would you want to hear anybody else talk about your family like that? No, you
Whether it's your
wouldn't.
Yeah,
So,
whether it's your wife, your sister, your mother, you know, your niece, your daughter, anything like that. They're all that to somebody.
yeah, exactly.
You know, and I understand there's heat with them, and I get it. I know I've been a a little mean in the past, and but since then I pretty much kind of, you know, dis you know, just kind of stepped away from that type of thinking.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the things that I've learned writing. I step away from, you know, you try to step away from that personal opinion type of thing towards them. You got to think of a more more of the backstage general factor, their work and stuff like that. It's up if I when it comes to like somebody like the Bella Twins, you have to look at it from a wrestling standpoint, not their personal standpoint, their personal life stuff. Yes, you know, they've put their personal lives on the map, but I think now I have a more of a mature approach, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, and how they came in and how they came out are two different things. Like, they came out
Absolutely.
on that aspect that they hired women back then. It was more about this
Being pretty and
being
skinny.
cute, looking like a model, and things like that. And as time went on, they're like, okay, I want to have a real wrestling match. And so they worked to get better at the wrestling part of it. Now, did they still use their beauty, as part of their character, their persona, and, things like that? Well, yeah, they did, because, quite frankly, if I looked the way they did, I'd do the same thing.
Right,
Let's
if
be
you got it,
honest.
want it, yeah.
You got it, let's be honest. But they tried really hard, and like you said, that match with Ronda Rousey with Nikki Bella actually impressed me. I was actually like, wow. Well, alrighty, Nikki Bella, look at you.
Yeah,
Things like
yeah.
that. And both of them have had good matches with AJ Lee and other people in the past too. And, you know, I think that they get a lot of heat and a lot of hate that they don't necessarily deserve. And congratulations on them for going to the Hall of Fame. It is a little too soon, like you said, but it doesn't mean that it's not deserved. So,
Exactly. So, congratulations. And they're talking about wanting to do another run, so we'll see what they got.
I actually wouldn't be opposed to that, because let's bring them women's tag team titles out of the garbage can that they're currently in. And that's not
Absolutely.
anything against Nia and Shayna Baszler, because I think they're doing the best that they can do. It's just that they're not giving them any actually meaningful competition for it, and they don't have a division. So,
Right. I really do like Nia and Shayna as a team, even though they're polar opposites.
I
They
like them
have
too. I think it's the odd couple type effect on them.
right, and it's been proven in the past that that works. And why Reginald's in it, I don't even want to like get a headache over that, but
We won't go into that.
right. I do like the fact that I think Shayna's getting more comfortable on the mic. She actually had a pretty good promo on Raw. I'm not saying she's terrible, because she's not. Naya's done better on the mic too, and for me personally, Naya's not the best to me, but I do, you know, I'm a big girl like she is. And for her to, put herself out there and actually, wrestle and doing all this stuff, I think it's awesome, you
Yeah.
know. And I think there's always room for improvement no matter what, but I think I think Naya I definitely think Naya does a lot better than she used to.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think her and Shayna work, and like I said, I'm just like really proud of her. She's like repping for us big girls, you know.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So let's go into another controversial topic here before we conclude for the evening.
Eva Maning.
And I'm probably going to get ripped about this too. The Pinnacle and the Inner Circle segment from last week's Dynamite. Okay, the segment itself was fine. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was a good beatdown. It was a good receipt for your newly faces of the Inner Circle going after the heels of Pinnacle and getting back at MJF for what he did. Okay? That's
Mhm.
fine. It was too soon. It should not have happened.
I can agree with that because I love this segment too, and I think I really do think when it comes to time, I think that that's a problem just in general. it's not just a WWE problem or ROH problem or anything. I think that's just a problem in general when it comes to pro wrestling, because I think a lot of people just don't have the patience. You need to have the patience. That's what
Right.
makes it for a bigger payoff. And so I can understand that. Not saying it wasn't bad, because it was actually pretty good. But yeah, if maybe waited like a month or something, let the Pinnacle get real
Absolutely.
comfortable, dominating AEW, running the show, and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, Inner Circle comes back, you know, puts them where they need to go, and
They should
I
have,
think it would have worked a lot better.
yeah, they should have given them a small little
Excuse
side feud with someone for like, with another team for like 2 to 3 weeks.
me. Hmm.
And so you almost have them forget about the inner circle and almost have your audience forget about the inner circle too.
Right,
And then
yeah.
when they come back, it's like, holy crap, I forgot about them. This is
Man,
awesome.
look at them.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
it would have
Exactly.
been, it would have been a lot better, and it would have also been a little bit closer to Double or Nothing. That's at the end of May as well. So
Mhm.
it would have set them up for their, good gracious, I hope that wasn't too loud.
No.
Okay, we're going to keep going on though. It would have been better for their flagship show. I think they're booking Double or Nothing as their biggest show of the year. Is that correct? It's either that one or it's
All out.
all out. Okay.
I would say Double or Nothing is like their SummerSlam.
Okay.
That
It
helps.
seems bigger than All Out to me, just from the way that they have booked it in the past, but
I
I don't
got you.
know.
Yeah. I'll talk about the Hall of Fame right quick. As you know, they did take the induction ceremonies for the class of 2020 and the class of 2021. Looking at this list, they did remove Batista from the 2020 class. They
Hmm.
wanted to wait until they were able to have fans again. I can understand that. Because being that Batista's the movie star, with the
Oh
Guardians
yeah.
of the Galaxy and stuff, I can understand that. But with that being said, British Bulldog got his long, long overdue induction. I loved him growing up.
That's good.
Yeah, so, everybody on both lists pretty much, yeah, I'm all right with it. Even the Great Khali. I mean, a lot of people look at the Great Khali and they're like, "Oh my God, really?" But you got to remember, he's from India, and that was like having him come in and win the WWE Championship and being this big guy. That did a lot
Yeah,
all around. So
it
you know,
did.
you know,
And
I'm not too terribly upset about it.
real quick, I think I've heard that they're, I don't know if this is official or not, but this is what I heard,
Hmm.
is that they're trying to start an NXT India. So if that's the case, this is even more of a, throwing the bone type of situation.
Right, because didn't they do something not too long ago that featured the Indian superstars?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they did. So,
My mind's blanking on that, but
yeah, you're good. I mean, World Wrestling Entertainment, so, I'm all right with it.
it's fine.
I think I like seeing talent from all over the world, and, I'm okay with it. Um, I'm really hoping Kane and RVD had a moment at the Hall of Fame. I don't know if they did or not. Yeah, I really hope RVD bought Kane Shoots and Ladders. Maybe that mended their friendship. I really hope so. I mean, because he didn't take too well to the hungry hippos he got
Yeah,
years ago. So hopefully RVD bought the Shoots and Ladders at Walmart somewhere and everything's good.
let's hope so. You got to get the
Yeah,
right game there.
yeah. Obviously Eric Bischoff in the Hall of Fame. I'm good with that. Everybody knows how he is.
Yep.
Molly Holly, another well-deserved, long overdue induction. Um, and of course, let's see, and then Titus O'Neil is receiving the Warrior Award, which Titus O'Neil has done a lot of charitable work for WWE.
He
He
has.
he is, when you think of charity work, I think of Titus O'Neil. He does a very great job. I think he's a great spokesperson for WWE. I think he puts his heart into it. You could tell he loves to do it. So, you know, he, the Warrior Award, when the Ultimate Warrior pitched it, was for those unsung heroes, in the background. And I feel like Titus O'Neil fits that bill.
Oh yeah, he definitely does, and he's one of those people when you meet him, because I've had the pleasure of meeting him.
Me too.
And he's so genuine, and he is so kind, and he actually talks to you like a human being and not like, I'm looking down at you. Although, if we're being honest, he's literally looking down at me when he's
Yeah.
talking to me because I'm so short. But regardless of that, you can tell that he actually, his heart is in everything that he does for those charities, and he works really hard at bringing awareness and helping those people out with, Susan G. Komen and,
All that.
all
Yeah.
the children with cancer and things like that. All that's good. So
Okay, yeah. And but yeah, congratulations to all of the inductees from Peaches and Power Bombs. Yeah, I can't wait to see it when they actually release it. If they did, I don't know about it, but it'd be something I will
I don't think
tune
they
in and
have.
look.
I think they
Okay.
said it was going to air Tuesday, but I'm not
I
100%
don't
on
know
that.
for sure either. So
That's the only time that they have to, because NXT is 2 nights. So
yeah. Alrighty then. So I think that's it for now.
I believe so.
It's the week of WrestleMania, guys.
Well,
So yeah.
hell.
Yay!
That's about as much of the excitement they're giving me right now.
Right, right.
Except for Bianca and Sasha. I'm excited
Yeah,
about that.
oh yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, week of WrestleMania, we'll see what happens, what don't happen. Who by the time we come back, we might have some new champions. We might be even more upset at what they've done, or you never know. Never
We
know.
don't know.
Sting might be on Broken Skull Sessions next. You never know. So.
Don't know.
But yes, if y'all have stuck with us this entire show, we thank you. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we are on Facebook. Facebook.com/Peaches and Powerbombs. Instagram, Peaches and Powerbombs. Twitter, Peach Bomb Pod. We are on YouTube as well under Peaches and Powerbombs. And of course, we will have the links to those in the description box below on YouTube. Give us a follow. Tell your friends about us and how awesome we are or how not awesome we are. So, yeah, it's just we do appreciate the engagement. We appreciate anytime y'all read our articles, listen to our show, our posts, anything like that, much appreciated. And we look forward to growing this brand and see where it goes. So, all right. Well, Tina, where can they find you?
You can find me on WrestlingInc.com. And that's about Peaches and Power Bombs, and that's it.
Pretty
That's
much.
okay. WrestlingInc.com. Yeah, go and look for my articles on there.
Tina won't tell you, but she's a big dog because she's with them.
Oh, I'm not a big dog. Raj is probably rolling his eyes right now.
Really, Sarah? Well, as for me, I am on Peaches and Power Bombs as well, and you can find me currently on Diva Dirt. So, with that being said, happy WrestleMania week, and we will talk to you later.